welcome aboard, me hearties, as we present some stuff that's fun. And damn it, I was not prepared at all. All right, well, here you get a
I thought
usual.
the pirate thing was going to be good. I thought ready.
Let's swashbuckle your entertainment and for the night. And thanks for not watching football. You know, I hate that shit anyway.
I watched football earlier.
Liverpool was winning the last I checked.
I hate you guys. This is Difficult the Podcast, brought to you by three nerds who love video games. God, we love talking about it. It's going to be so good tonight. We got a really juicy one for you. I am your co-host, Lord Yeshua, Josh in the flesh. We are on Paul Ryugami-san's channel. And then another letdown over there. It's Zach himself. What do we got going on? Let's give us the features. Give us the deeches.
Well, I had a really busy week as far as I had a lot going on. It was my wife's birthday yesterday, so I didn't play a lot of games. I did play some. I can give you that here in a little bit. How about you guys? Did you have a good week?
Not much.
Did you play any games?
Week was crazy. Week was insane. I got hit by a plane, but like
what?
That's what it felt like.
Okay.
So it's just making the Calvin and Hobbes joke that I made the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. But but aside from that, I only played Yoshi. You know, I had to say that real quick. Yoshi.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with that. I was saying to Paul before you got here, Josh. There's nothing wrong with a week where you don't play a whole lot, but the gaming you did was quality.
It was some good stuff. That game is going to be some meat. But I'm realizing now how little time we have before the season of gaming hits us. So
coming quick.
May I just say,
yeah,
I am purposely holding off on WarioWare. I'm probably not going to be reviewing that game because of how much meat is coming. So I want to just like do Yoshi for a month. But
I think, here's the thing about WarioWare. I think it'd be an easy game to review just because there's not a lot of meat and potatoes to those games.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's
one we can hold on the back burner and just use it when we need it.
I mean, WarioWare for the Wii was like arguably one of the meatiest ones, and that I like. Remember, it was a big to do. I got it online and whatever. Got the disc again, the old school, and it took me 2 hours to stream, and I like almost unlocked every single fucking game, and I was like, what the fuck. So this one is almost certainly going to be like 4 or 5 hours of content max. So it's really more going to be a party game. I'm excited for Mario Party. That's what I want.
So one thing that I heard, and this is just like I haven't played it yet, so I've no leg to stand on here. But with criticism towards the new game, but I did hear that there are some rather disappointing features when it comes to multiplayer. Like there's just not a lot of modes.
Which game? Are you talking about Mario Party? Or are you talking about WarioWare?
WarioWare.
Yeah, it seems like it's
did I say Mario Party? Sorry, I meant WarioWare.
No, we didn't say anything, so I wasn't sure which one we were on.
Okay.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah. WarioWare, it looks like they're focusing on co-op on this one, so I don't know. It's really not the season for hanging out with your homies. It's like the online season.
Yeah, it seems like a misstep.
It seems like Mario Party is awesome when you're going to be able to do 4 individual online players, and then like if someone gets booted, it just becomes a PC, apparently. So like there's going to be no dropping. Yeah. It's going to be super awesome. Like that's what I always wanted, to be able to play Mario Party with my friends without them needing to be there. That has never been doable. And the current one only has online if you're in like certain modes, and only if you're already like friends with them.
Yeah, so it's like super situational.
So if your friends are just happen to be not online, you can't play with anyone. So you're like, fuck. Well, I want to be able to play at any time, But no. But so that was me, Yoshi. Once the end.
Very cool.
But I got some juice for the review though. Don't you worry. I should have gone last. Why didn't I do that?
Oh, that's okay. We're good.
No, that's good. That's good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Zach,
Paul,
what about you, man?
No, you go
me?
next,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's
I can transition us back into.
Okay, he's got it. He's got it. I believe in it. So the only game I really put any like significant amount of time, which wasn't really very much, was Ghost of Tsushima. The new director's cut, the Iki Island DLC, which so far is really great. Though I'm not very far into it, as I understand, it's not very long. But well, it's not a free expansion, but for an inexpensive expansion with a whole lot of quality of life features and improvements, I think that even if it provides just a few hours, I think it's a pretty decent piece of content. So
absolutely.
And then I've also just been like this week, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of time. I didn't stream on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. And because Tuesday, God, I don't remember what I was doing Tuesday, but Wednesday I had, it was my anniversary. So Yeah, my wedding.
Happy anniversary, Paul, and
Thanks.
happy birthday, Chelsea.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
things too. It's from me.
Yes, yesterday was Chelsea's birthday, so that's also why I cut my stream short. Things like that. But I have been trying to find the perfect Game Boy game for me to play right now. Like whether it's Game Boy, Game Boy Color, or Game Boy Advance. I've just been like I've really been enjoying messing around with my Game Boys and also considering modding all of them, really. Like this one's already modded. I've got a backlight mod in this one, which is rad. I absolutely love it. But like my SP is not in the best of shape, and there's a bunch of, you probably won't be able to see it, but I'll try and show you. It's got the AGS-001 front light screen, which kind of sucks. And then it's foggy and it's got dust in there and all that crap. I would just like to put a better screen in there and things like that, So, and then
have you played the 6 golden coins lately? That's all.
Actually, you know what's funny? That's the main game I've been playing this week with regards to Game Boy games.
Actually, that's the best game with Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. But Link's Awakening's on the Game Boy Color also, so I'll give that best Game Boy game. I'll give Link's Awakening best Game Boy Color game. Yeah.
It's definitely. I have it around here. What 6 golden coins? Why that specifically?
I just think that game
for me, the reason I've been playing it is just because like that's a good fallback game for me. I really enjoy that game.
You can eat it in one go.
It's just super fun. It's
the jumps are a little like floaty.
It's
Game Boy floaty. That's how Donkey Kong was on the Game Boy too.
It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get going, it is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
I will say the Donkey Kong lands are also, except for the first one, which has what you're saying, the floaty mechanics. 2 and 3 feel like the Super Nintendo, like just like the 2 buttons and the D-pad. Like those feel like really awesome platforms.
Yeah,
they're not that dumbed down. They're a little level quality wise, but
what's even more impressive than those is the Donkey Kong Country Game Boy Color games.
And the advanced port was really
well. The advanced port's just the same, right? But like, what's impressive to me is the Game Boy Color ones that achieve
every iteration.
Like almost the exact same level of gameplay as the Super Nintendo versions, and they're on Game Boy Color, which is significantly underpowered.
That is the game I played the most.
Yeah, but I just like, despite me playing a pretty decent amount of Mario 6 golden coins, I've not like landed on like a game that I want to like really sink my teeth into on Game Boy right now. Not that there aren't any, and not that I haven't played plenty. There's just not one that I'm really feeling right now.
You go for advance right now?
Anything really? Whether it's advanced.
Luigi's lately?
I don't think I've ever played those.
Oh, dude, play Mario and Luigi. What's the first one called? Mario and Luigi. Oh my God, Superstar Saga.
Okay,
that's the one.
Dude, you will love it. It's so charming and incredible.
Cool. Yeah,
and it's a real good RPG. Yeah,
I might check that out. I don't know if I want an RPG per se, but
maybe not. Yeah.
I might. I don't know. I did hop into, because I was kind of like feeling nostalgic, and so I hopped in a Harvest Moon 2 on the Game Boy Color.
Nice.
And while I was excited to get in there, and the feelings of nostalgia had started rushing in, I realized that as an adult, it's really hard for me to like justify doing chores on my Game Boy when I could be cleaning the kitchen,
that's a good point.
So, I don't know, but maybe I do. Like, I miss Harvest Moon a lot. I might get into a Harvest Moon game at some point.
It's like, look, Chelsea, I'm taking care of my family. He's like, get the fuck off the TV.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I did in gaming this week. I've been mostly messing around with that. I'm literally thinking about modding every single one of my Game Boys.
Dude, if you get into it, let me know, because I got two SPs here that need to be repaired.
Good things for all of
like
the games
badly. This one's all cracked and broken, and the other one.
Every single game we just talked about was my God, homebrew on the Game Boy, bro. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Anyway, what about you, Zach? How was your week? What did you do? What games did you play?
Well, so Josh posted in our chat that he had been run over by a train, and I was literally about to post the same words.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I felt completely wiped out about halfway through the week.
Yeah.
To the point where like I got home from open house on Thursday night at the school, and I was just like I was home on time-ish to stream, and I was like, nah, I don't have it. I can't do it. So I pushed it to Friday, and
I only have one stream in me. Yeah,
that was a good decision. I'm very glad I did, because I played Arkham Knight for a little while and actually had fun with it again. In fact, I said the words, and this is an exact quote of something that I said on the stream. This game would be perfect except for the Batmobile segments. If they ditched the Batmobile,
it would be awesome.
Perfect. Yeah,
it should be awesome to ride the Batmobile.
And it's not. It feels like playing third-rate Twisted Metal.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's really rough. But I'll get into that on my
first-rate Twisted Metal.
So I played a little bit of that. Really enjoyed myself because it was all flying around doing Batman stuff, like actually feeling like Batman. And then I was in a similar state of just like, what do I do between now and Metroid Dread?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, right?
Yeah. Which is the 20th?
Something like that,
8th is when Dread comes out.
Is it really that soon? Oh my god.
October 8th, yeah.
So I'll be playing that during okay.
About to get the Japanese.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe someone fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Why don't we ever get the Japanese version of games early?
I know, it seems ridiculous.
Maybe we should do that. I want to be able to read the story, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, October 8th.
Okay.
Wow. Allegedly October 8th.
Order now.
Dang. Okay. So that's way sooner than I thought, but great.
That's way.
So yeah. Anyway, between now and then, I was like, I got to find some like short or like mindless Switch or Game Boy or something.
Take a break.
To just or just take a break. And I sat down I was watching a live stream on Thursday night, and I was like, okay, this isn't holding my attention particularly well. And I reached down next to me and grabbed Mega Man Battle Network 2. And I was like,
I have no idea.
I definitely so Josh,
I will find out.
Yes, you will.
Is this the transition?
Well, sort of. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, it was just like I've played Battle Network 1. I did that on stream about a year ago, and it was my primary game on stream. But that's a tough game to primary because like I'm trying to follow a walkthrough. Paul, I'm sure you had the same issues when you did things like Skyward Sword. It's like you're trying to manage the chat and a walkthrough and actually playing the game and all this stuff. It's a tough one to keep going with. It's hard to stay motivated streaming those kind of games where something like Batman is fairly linear and the objectives are marked pretty clearly. Yeah. It's pretty easy to manage everything all at once. I think Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro and things like that you've played are very much the same in that way. It's like, you know what you're doing, you know what you're trying to do, you can focus on it.
Yeah.
But I've really been enjoying playing Space Marine on stream occasionally.
Space Monkey.
And I think what I'm going to do moving forward is I'll have a game like Space Marine or Battle Network, the Battle Network series. I'm just going to say that. That's my backup game.
Yeah.
So if I have to, if we cancel a gear up and I still want to stream, I can play something else. If Adam and Mike can't join me for painting and I don't feel like painting on my own, I can grab that backup game and just play that. Yeah. So I think that's what's going to end up happening with Battle Network 2 and 3. Those are the ones I have at the moment.
Star Fox for me.
Yeah, well, exactly, Josh. It's just having that game that you can grab off the back burner and throw up there for one night and know you're going to enjoy yourself. Like you just know it before you even sit down.
Star Fox or any of the Donkey Kongs.
Yeah, that's exactly. Right there. So yeah, that's Battle Network 2 was my other game this week. Nice. Other than that, just a bunch of TV shows. I just wasn't feeling like gaming.
I didn't watch any TV.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Taking a break.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mention that, that's the reason I didn't stream on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to stream because I had just finished, I just finished Skyward Sword, and I was like, not only did that kind of like leave a void in me, because anytime you finish like a game that epic, you're like, man, like, it's hard for me to go on to something else because I'm still like emotionally invested in that game.
Dude, after that game,
yes, exactly.
Honestly, after Breath as well, just because it was so invested in those games, even though Breath was not as good the second time around, it was like a loss of like a part of you because you were so invested. Skyward Sword, holy shit, dude!
Like I would come right home
like
and
80
play
hours into that. Damn.
Yeah, Skyward Sword, and then I went right into Mega Man 11, and I would just come home right away and play that game.
Yeah,
and
that's how I felt about Mario Odyssey as well.
I don't want to do that. Yeah, Mario Odyssey. That's another good example.
I woke up early every day before work to play that game. I
Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap, yeah. Oh my god.
Like all those games, just we dove right in over our heads, get it done, and then you're just like, oh.
Dude, that's what happened to me when I finished Ghost of Tsushima for the first time, and then I was like, I had this like, even though Ghost of Tsushima I think does open world perfectly, because I'm not a fan of open world games typically. I think it does open world so well. It had me craving open world games. So I jumped into Witcher. I jumped into Breath of the Wild. And I was like, fuck, this isn't Ghost of Tsushima. Like, what am I doing? You know?
Play Ghost.
Yeah.
Comics and Coffee in the chat says, you that's when you turn to like roguelikes. And I would agree with that up to a point. And that point is, and all these Switch games that we're talking about right now, I can grab the Switch and go in the other room and still hang out with my wife. Where most of my roguelikes are on the PC, so I'd have to go into my office and sit down and isolate myself.
I might get back into this now that you mentioned that. I know I swore it off on stream. You can't.
You're gonna get
the damn green screen. Returnal is what that is. The green screen's fucking up the cover.
That's gonna feel good. You're gonna need some lube for that game.
But it'd be good. It'd be a good time waster until Metroid comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Good practice.
Pretty excited about that. I might go Super also because I kind of want to get my feel for the old school Metroids again. I might play Fusion even. I don't know.
So I've kind of been playing through that on my Game Boy
I can't find Fusion anywhere.
I have to
I have it somewhere.
Again.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to buy it.
I think my copy of Fusion's at my parents.
My copy's long gone. I might get a repro of it, but I've got it on a flash card.
Prime sounds kind of tasty right now too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Josh.
I feel like this game is going to feel more like Metroid Prime meets Super, just because we're getting like such a deep feel. I know it's not first person, but like.
So maybe story wise, because it seems like they're definitely like leaning into some deeper lore with this one, which I'm excited about. But as far as gameplay is concerned, it looks identical for good reason to the remake of Metroid 2, because it's the same same developers that made it.
I didn't play that, so yeah.
I
dude, it's awesome.
Be surprised though if like some of those if they are leaning more toward a heavy plot thing.
I played some.
I wonder if some of that Metroidvania classic like wander around and see what happens mentality diminishes a little bit.
I played some classic Metroid 2 this week. Not much. Like I killed the first 2 Metroids, but
I don't know. They got to compete with like Hollow Knight and shit now. I think this is going to be insane. I think this is going to be a deep networking Metroidvania game. It is not going to be.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be at least. I swear on this, at least double to triple the size of the Super Metroid map. I bet. Just like because,
dude, I'm all in for it.
That kind of gives me a panic attack almost.
I'm actually thinking there'll almost certainly be post game content as well. Nintendo is too good about this. Like there will be percentage unlocks as well. Like if you 100% the game, something, they're always good like that with Metroid. We're getting all the tricks. I bet we get everything, all the Easter eggs, all the secrets. It's going to be everything, dude. Man. It's going to be the best Metroid game, I think. Like it and Metroid Prime 1 are going to be like the best game.
I'm still really partial to Zero Mission. Or not Zero Mission. Actually, Zero Mission's amazing. Fusion. I think Fusion's probably my favorite Metroid.
I think Super Fusion 1
I love Super Metroid though.
Super Metroid's amazing.
Yeah. I think if I had to call my favorite,
it's not even dated, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just like
speaking of not dated and games that just last forever and we whip out all the time. Josh, shall we do your review that I've been waiting for like a month?
Into it. Let's take a bite out of this before we waste every drop of time we have.
All right, give me 2 seconds. We'll transition into that, and you can take it away, Josh.
Are you gonna do the awesome parts, or actually? Because that was fun. Or are you gonna do the ones where I suck in the beginning?
I took your last stream. Good. So
that's the good one where I'm crushing everything. All right, guys, welcome to my review of Mega Man X. Damn, that's right. never a Mega Man player as a kid. Friends played it. Everyone recommended it. This is like a franchise that just for some reason never.
When we
got
found out
into
you
it,
hadn't played it, we kind of forced you to.
They kind of forced me to, and I thought, this game is like $20 for 4 of them. Like I can at least get a good feel for how the game is. And these are the ones on the Super Nintendo and shit. So as much as I love Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario and Metroid and all that stuff, I'm like, these are all on the same console. So of course, this is probably gonna be the same caliber of feel at least. So I was like, I gotta give this a shot. I gotta see if this franchise is good. Okay, I can't believe I haven't played it before, if I'm being honest. So I will. Here, let's get through the juice of it first. What is it? Developed by Capcom, released January 1994. So on the Super Nintendo, I presume, and some other bullshit, or that was it?
That was it.
Only on Super Nintendo when it originally released,
and
though it is
Super
now
Famicom, right?
Yeah, the Famicom, yeah, which is we're gonna couple those
Synonymous.
in. But then so now you can get it all over the place, everything. So I got it on the Switch. This was $20 for all 4 of the X games, or that many at least.
The first 4 X games.
The first 4 X games. Which I played the first of. It's available on here. It says Super Nintendo, PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, PC, Mac, PS4, Xbone. Sorry. I know it, man. Xbox One. Everything. What did I like about this game? Okay, here we go. I almost feel like that shouldn't be the first one because it's I almost want to talk about like the little parts.
Yeah,
of the
I guess
game
it's kind of like very.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like
talk about whatever you want.
I'll talk about whatever I want though.
Yeah.
So this game is very interesting in how, like in Mario, like for example, Mario is always Mario. He doesn't get like more powerful. You get power ups and stuff, but like it's very different. Donkey Kong, you're always like this like type of like strength. Even Kirby, which is the game I relate this most to, honestly, which is I know kind of weird.
Yeah, I
think this game to me feels like Kirby All-Stars 75%, 25% like Metroid, maybe even like 45% Metroid, and the other way Kirby All-Stars. But like that being like your character basically can absorb all these abilities, you become stronger and stronger. It's such a cool idea and premise because this is something we more see like in RPGs and like adventure games where your character becomes really impressive and awesome in different ways. And it's awesome to see that in a platformer, in my opinion. This is like something super unique. Like Donkey Kong doesn't have like machine guns at the end of the game. He's still Donkey Kong, you know what I mean? And Mario gets a cape, but like you still get hurt and you lose the cape. So Mega Man literally gets like fucking 10 fucking guns and all this armor and all these extra tanks of like health and health bars and all these shields and all this shit. And it's really cool to just upgrade your character. That being said, it's a bitch finding that shit, but like, it's really cool that there is that much content in the game for that. So what did I like? I think the platforming starts out really difficult. The beginning of the game is probably the hardest part, like learning how the mechanics work and stuff. Once you get your dash, you can kind of get a feel for the platforming, which then becomes a lot more impressive. And to me, having the wall jump and all that shit, this is a very impressive platformer, just like stating as a fan of platformers. You can be very fluid. I can see how speedrunning it is just godly and feels very smooth and awesome. But in the beginning, for a new player especially, it is a very difficult game. Just like gonna say it, like
got
it's
a
very
crazy
difficult.
learning curve.
It has a crazy learning curve right off the bat. The very first level, you're not even sure. I didn't even know which one to play, of course, like until you guys came in. Like I had a good team on this game, I will say. I had 3 people or more that like really knew what to do in this game and kind of guided me through. So I will down to the part to something that I didn't like about this game, but also did like about this game. Is that it's not something I really could have tackled by myself as far as like, I would have been so horrible if I did this by myself and just got to the boss. Like I can't imagine having beaten this game without having collected as much stuff as I did.
Can I throw a caveat in there?
Maybe, what's up?
So, and I mentioned this before when we had talked about it, but the difference between your playthrough now and like everyone else's playthrough back in the day is 2 things. Number one, user manual, right?
Yep.
So games back then came packaged with your manual that told you that there were these certain items that you could find. It didn't tell you where to find them, but it told you they existed, so you knew to look. As well as gave you your like movement instructions, things like that. Basic instructions on how to play the game, which doesn't really exist today. And then the second one
those.
being that we kind of rushed you through this game, and I actually want to apologize for that, because this is a game that you kind of want to let marinate. You want to go into a level and like be totally beat down and baffled as to why you couldn't beat this boss, or why you couldn't find that item, or even get to a certain item. You might have just seen in the gameplay in the background that last E-Tank. The first probably 5 times I played through this game, I had no idea how to get that E-Tank. Right?
Yeah.
So
it took me a while in the beginning. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Just staring at it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I probably would have figured that out once I got the boomerang eventually.
So
but
all I'm saying is that we kind of put you in a unique position to not enjoy the game the way it was necessarily intended to be played.
Maybe not the way it was intended, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. Sure. And I will say that as someone who does like to consume games a little more heavily, so again, the negative and positive of it is I was kind of forced to learn the mechanics, which made me better at the game faster, which I thought was kind of a plus in the long run. But it also made my natural inspiration about the game kind of lower. But honestly, that's where the negative and positive comes in. It's a huge plus that this game has so much exploration. You can literally play 10 levels for 2 years before you find all the shit. But it's also kind of damn, it would have been impossible for me to beat this game though. I don't even know how the fuck I couldn't play it for that long. So that's kind of where I'm okay, interesting. It's different. It's different. Not normally in Donkey Kong, you just run through the same level over and over again, until you find all the secrets. It's not as difficult, I feel because you can still beat the game without having to collect all that shit. But then eventually you can find it. But in this game, it's the learning curve is so harsh, and the need for lining up your gun with certain bosses and shit is so crucial that it's fucking insane amounts of trial and error. And I'm assuming they updated the autosave for the remade version. So on the Super Nintendo, you probably got fucked.
Yeah.
You probably
you know what you got, Josh?
You got fucked, dude.
You got codes. You got codes.
Hold on, Paul. I have this.
If you don't have the
you got a notebook
level unlocked, and know how to farm lives, once I learned the lives farming thing from Adam, that was really awesome in the Armadillo level. You can get a ton of lives that way.
Yeah, you can get.
But you don't know that right off the bat. Maybe you're not prepped for that level even yet. So maybe you didn't even attempt it. But fuck. Shit, I would have gotten boned. Damn.
One other thing on the whole mechanics. This is the first game in the X series. It is far from the first Mega Man game. Yeah. And so if you were a fan of Mega Man games before, you would have been familiar with a lot of, not all of the mechanics obviously, but a lot of the mechanics leading up to this point. And so that is another thing that I feel might have been a little bit of a detriment to you jumping straight into this, but still,
I didn't really
understand.
You said, I didn't understand the mechanics at first, the wall slides and stuff.
I don't know how this is going to show up on camera, but
those are passwords that
that is a screen grab.
It sounds like hell, dude.
I
would just not be able to handle that. So the quality of life enhancements, I'm basically reviewing it based on the version I did. I don't think I would be grading it as generously if there were more if there weren't as many quality of life enhancements. I don't know why that's a thing. Some games just did and didn't have that. And also I thought that was kind of a drawaway for certain games. Any game that used a memory card in the N64 or the Super or anything in that era, I was kind of shying away from just because it felt weird. I was what? Every other good Nintendo game like Zelda and shit just has a save file. Can we just save the fucking game? So it felt weird to me every time I had to enter a password. And I think I was kind of turned off from games that were like that at a young age. I have a few but But anyway, so I'm so glad about that enhancement. So what else did I like about the game? The bosses are fucking awesome. There's such a variety in this game. The weapons are incredible. I can't that should have been the first thing I said. This game has awesome levels that once you get the speed running down, I am all about being able to consume levels as fast as possible. And I really tried. I don't know how good I do here, but once I got in the last 25% of my run, I was really starting to crush shit. And you get better and better and better, and you start knowing which weapons are gonna just plow through shit. I love the fucking wind tunnel guy that just kills everything. You just keep
I use that one a lot.
Yep.
I like that
one too.
The bosses are really creative and awesome, and really take a lot of skill and learning of patterns in order to beat them. And you still get the shit beaten out of you no matter what. So it's just like very Cupheady, but you can also like put more armor on yourself and like, which I think makes you do eventually get really good at the game and better. But because of the buffs, I think you don't get like absolutely expert at the game until like you play it like religiously. Like for me, I'm not an expert at the game, obviously. I definitely am okay at the game because I can beat it, but like I'm not nearly like great at the game. Like just because like I did get so many buffs that like I can still get hit a ton, I know. And I know I can heal myself and shit. So I'm like, okay, but like some people definitely don't get hit and are just like plowing through it, you know. But it's definitely a game that I like that there is that progression of learning because it's just like so nice to be able to like be like a god at the end, which is really cool. Like you're just awesome, and the last boss fight feels very satisfying.
Dude,
the end of the game,
watching you finish that was incredible.
Yeah,
Dude.
I will say the end of the game, I almost gave up, and literally I was like one last try. That was like the third time I had said that, and I really meant it that time, and I really didn't even want to do this last run. And then I gave it my all, and I fucking did it. And dude, it was the flow state. I literally was perfectly in the zone. It was awesome. It was a great moment in gaming. The end of this game is incredible. This game feels so damn good to play. It is a great platformer overall, I will say. Like, I just have to give it like praise so we can actually say things about the game. I feel like I'm just like being like paraphrasing things about it mostly, but like it is actually really amazing. The story is really awesome. There's great reveals at the end. And it just feels like you immediately enter this massive world that now I want to find out more about, like once the end of the game happens. And there's a lot of questions in the beginning that kind of feel like it's just a whatever story. And then you get more and more. And then at the end, it's revealed and all this stuff is revealed and you feel, and then you realize you're entering like a larger world. And that feels so great. You know what I mean? Like you enter all this lore and now the characters like reach out in different lore directions and you get a much bigger story web. And I know that there's that many more games out there. So it's pretty awesome. So that's all good. You know, that's all good. Let's see. What didn't I like about the game? Like pretty much where I was kind of interlacing it in there, but like just like the knowledge of like control schemes and stuff like that. It's just the learning curve is like, but you know, I can't be mad at the game for being difficult. So
well,
you know,
some
only
of that,
a little
Josh,
bit against
though,
that, you know.
One thing we didn't mention earlier is like when I was learning Mega Man, it was like just long enough into the life cycle of the Super Nintendo that we had lost the manuals at that point.
Oh yeah.
But but that was, as you will recall, the era of couch co-op.
Yeah.
And the era of a player two, like kind of looking over your shoulder, like, oh, hey, when you try that thing again, do this thing.
Yeah.
And you have a second set of eyes on it.
Big time. Yeah.
So, and I think that's part of why streaming it, as I did with Battle Network a little while ago, and as Adam and I did with 30XX, is you have that second voice to remind yourself, okay, we're not speed running this game.
Yeah.
And some people are, but like you and I are not speed running this game. We're enjoying it. We're taking it slow. We can slow down and really focus on what we're trying to do. And one of the weird things about this game, and I just wanted to throw this in here while you're talking about things that you don't like about it, is the game speed, the pace at which most of the game happens, forces you to want to speed run, even in the boss fights, which are difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to stop yourself. I will physically pause the game right before I walk into the boss room and just remind myself to slow down.
I feel like the Zero series does that even more so.
Yes.
Like
yes, they
just
do.
the nature of how you play a Zero, you want to rush through everything.
You dash constantly.
Yeah.
Like once you, I mean, you have dash right from the beginning, I believe. And you're just, that dash button is, there's a reason that my R button is worn out on my my SP.
Yeah. Oh, here's a boss fight. Look at me go. But yeah, no. So I would say, yeah, gameplay is very fun, but brutal, but rewarding. So rewarding gameplay is what I am most gratified by in a game when I feel like I really got better at the game. There is no way to beat this game without getting better at it. Like literally bottom line, this is a game that you actually have to get better at to beat. You can't just like fall through it. I can even say like the Donkey Kong games, which are very hard. I still think people could stumble through eventually, like without much skill. But like this game actually requires a great deal of skill to get through. Like, fuck you. When I beat it, I knew I did awesome. Like it wasn't an accident. I fucking crushed it. It was glorious. God damn. That was intense. So gameplay is really fun, although some parts feel a little clunky. I know it's movement based and all that, but for God's sakes, when the fact that people can respawn immediately when they're off screen like makes wall jumping off long corridors very difficult.
Yes.
And that was a very not super enjoyable part for me because you cannot shoot up, and I understand that you cannot shoot up because it's not Metroid, but at the same time I would have loved if the respawn was a little further away, like at least like a block away, so that like wall jumping corridors weren't as like brutal.
So you have a chance to get up on top of the ledge.
Yeah, but you do get to learn the abilities, and there's like invincibility and shit like that, and the bumper, whatever, and like so there is stuff around this, and you learn.
Even your fully charged Buster, once you have the Buster upgrade, it shoots behind you as well. Like there's that field of energy behind you, so like you can be like wall riding and shoot. And you won't necessarily be aiming at something, but that blast behind you will kill whatever's next to you.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Because I was always shooting the other way by accident too. But just because you need to like push, but you're also trying to push against the wall, but you're trying to push in the other direction to shoot. So you're like, okay, yeah, this is like a little tricky. So, but it's technical and I get it. And I feel like the controls are really good. I'm like overall, like the controls were well done for a Super Nintendo game. Like this game has a lot to offer and a lot to learn. The art, I'm not going to lie, the art isn't really like my favorite art style. I think I like it better as a Super Nintendo game. I don't know if it holds up as well now as like a Donkey Kong or a Mario. I think it does look pretty damn good though. I know. I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I feel like it does hold up pretty damn good.
I mean, you may be right. I've got serious nostalgia glasses for this game, so
it's
great.
Like,
It's great.
I think it's one of the best looking games.
For me, it's like I know. I'm not saying it's bad, but it takes like a cartoony vibe with like it's like a serious cartoony vibe, but it's also on the Super. So for me to play it for the first time, I'm like, okay, I get that, but like then there's like Metroid and shit, and like everything else kind of takes like, you know, and Mario's hyper cartoony. So like to me, in the middle, but on the Super, it almost feels like it does fall flat slightly for holding up wise as far as history is concerned, like for a new player, just because like at the time I feel like that would have been more exciting for me, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, oh yeah, I get what they're trying to do, like that kind of cross between like really awesome futuristic and cartoony at the same time. But like I don't know if it just like this part right here, this corridor, motherfucking corridor. I hate this. This is gonna be PTSD just watching it. Okay, so the art, like I like the art. If I had to just grade the art alone, I would probably give the art like a 7-ish, 5 maybe. Yeah. But again, it's just not like my favorite.
Sure.
The music is fucking awesome. The music is the best part of the game, baby.
So
not even gonna lie. Aside from the gratification of beating a boss and the end of the game, the music is the best part.
Some of my favorite video game music ever.
It's really damn good.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, this is the stuff that I listen to while I paint.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 score for sure.
Yeah, when Adam does his art, he plays Mega Man X music.
I actually sent him the sound or the playlist.
The sound as well is very good.
Time,
the sound is a 10 and the music is a 10. The sound is just very spot on, and I really feel immersed in the game based on everything that is going on, based on Mega Man's like impact with his gun and everything. Like the impact sounds are great. Like all of it sounds good. The levels sound great. You feel like you're there. It's awesome. It's a very immersive platformer. I really like that about it, based on the sound and based on the music. How long did it take me? I think it took me 5 to 6 hours overall. And I was kind of like dicking around for a lot of it. So like it really like a 6-hour game, and it should have taken me like 2 years to beat. Yeah, I smashed it in there. Like fuck. Like
Adam mentioned in the chat earlier that it's like first time it's like a 30-hour game that you'll later be able to beat in an hour. You know?
Yeah. So a 6-hour game, I could probably eventually, this was it difficult? Yes, this game is extremely difficult. This game is Cuphead difficult, but maybe not expert Cuphead difficult. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, although this game is difficult, there was a certain point where I started to become like pick up speed and be able to crush through bosses faster and faster and faster. And, you know, not like, and finding the stuff was helpful, you know, obviously like having you guys there to find it. But then I found my skills improving faster, you know, as I was collecting more and as I was like learning the like how the power-ups worked and how Mega Man felt. So I felt like, and I was able to grasp like how to beat levels on my own at a certain point. I was like, okay, this is great. Like, so it is a hard game, but again, the learning curve allows you to become better at it, which is great because that's what you want, is to be better at the game. Would I play a sequel? I mean, there's so many sequels. Yes, I will play a sequel. I will unpack there, but yes, I would absolutely play a sequel to this game and own several as we speak. So I might as well. Overall rating and impression. All right, is this where we do it?
Yeah, you guys want to bust it all out at once,
and then we talk about it. All right, ready? Wait here. Where are you? Here, and then hold up. Where are you? Okay. Ready? Oops. I had it zoomed in so you can see it. And this is mine. Overall rating.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Go team. Look at that.
Amazing.
That's hilarious.
All 8.5s basically, except 1.86.
I went slightly higher.
So,
just
yeah,
I
would give this game, for those who have an audio file, I voted it at 8.5, as well as Zach and Paul gave it 8.6, right?
No, I gave 8.5. Zach gave 8.6.
Me and Paul gave it 8.5, and Zach gave it 8.6, which is hilarious. I thought I was gonna have the highest score, honestly, by the way you guys were describing it. So for me, this game is great. If I had played this on the Super Nintendo as a kid, I might have given this in the 9s. I feel like, because of the nostalgia a little bit. This game was really impressive. The downfalls were things that were improved, I guess, like in the save file and whatnot, and like learning things like, so I couldn't really knock it too much, but it was mostly like the aggravation of like, you know, the things I couldn't quite figure out at first, and like the up shooting, god damn it, and like a few things that were frustrating, but I can't knock the game too much, and there were so many redeeming qualities, and I am overall really glad and feel like a bigger gamer, like feel better at gaming having added this to my repertoire. So 8.5 for me. Excellent. I think that it's deserving of that score. Yeah, I think that's a solid game tour. Yeah. But if it's the highest scoring Mega Man game, that makes me sad, actually.
I wouldn't say it's the highest scoring Mega Man game.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
I'll explain my score here in a sec when we're finished with the full on review, and
we'll
get
do an
into
intensive
that.
Q&A with.
I think that's my review. Yeah.
That's it. All right, let's switch back and we'll talk a little deeper on this.
Yeah, get me out of that corridor, please. I hate this.
Okay.
Oh, it's so pitiful to watch.
So, who should go first here? Explaining their score.
That was my explanation, basically.
Zach.
So.
Yeah.
You go, Paul.
Okay. So, the reason I gave this game an 8.5 instead of a 9 or 10 or lower or higher or whatever is I think this game is the baseline game for the Mega Man X series. I do think personally it's arguable. I don't think Zach agrees with me. I don't necessarily think this is the best of the X series, but it certainly sets the standard, and you could certainly make the argument that it's the best. I
do agree with that.
Yeah.
I completely.
Okay, and so I think having that score as a baseline for the X series, so there's 8 games in the X series proper, and I think having that as a baseline allows you to go, higher or lower with the other games and kind of keep it kind of in sync with that, right? There's certainly, like, if you ask me, X2 and 3 are probably going to be 8, 7.5 to 8 in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas I think that 4 and 5 are probably, between 8.5 and 9, and for various reasons. But yeah, I just think this is that's a good baseline for the X series. And when you factor in all the things this game has to offer, I think it's a well-deserved score. I think some of the criticisms that Josh levied to it are totally warranted, especially in today's age. If I give this, if this was a 90, 94, 95 when I first played this game, I'd probably say 9.5. But I had friends that had played it first, and I had a manual, and I had Nintendo Power or whatever. I had these other resources that we kind of take for granted today, that we because we have the internet, we don't need manuals or whatever, or we're not playing on the couch with our friends. So you're not getting that input. And it makes the game a lot more difficult, a lot more frustrating to understand. So I think that kind of takes away from it. Obviously, like Josh said, the music is goddamn incredible.
So
and like I mentioned during his review, it might be my favorite video game music. It's up there for sure.
Oh, it is definitely.
It is definitely for me, but it's not in my. It's still really good.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it's my favorite.
Sure, that's fine.
The one that,
I like Zelda, so.
Me too.
Me too. But I mean, Mega Man X is like my hype music. Before a road race or something like that.
Sure.
That's what I want to be listening to.
Yeah, it's so freaking good. And I just think it's damn near perfect when it comes to the music. The gameplay is really tight. I think that's another thing is like, even though the later X games might not necessarily be as good story wise or not necessarily as cool of bosses, the controls get cleaned up, they get more responsive, things like that.
It also moved to PlayStation.
Yeah,
and that is the sole reason, as a growing up Nintendo kid, that is the sole reason that I don't have anywhere near the familiarity with X4 through 8.
Right.
Because it moved to PlayStation and I couldn't play them anymore.
And Sega Saturn.
That's true. But either way, like I had a Super Nintendo I had access to a Super Nintendo and access to a GameCube. And it's like, can't play Mega Man? And that's when
there was a GameCube release for the X games. I could be wrong.
Not for X. There was one for Battle Network. It was Mega Man NT Warrior and Mega Man Network Transmission.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Anyway, that pretty much sums up, my score for the 8.5 in 2021 for Mega Man X. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. So. Yeah.
And I similarly, for basically all the reasons that Paul and Josh have outlined, 8.6, I gave it a little bit higher because it's the one that I grab. Even above 02, which is my favorite Mega Man game. And I have 3 different versions of it. I could play it on the 3DS, I could play it on my Game Boy, I could play it on Switch.
Me too.
I'm going to play it on Switch. But, the game that I grab is Mega Man X. It lives in my Superboy. My portable Super Nintendo.
Superboy.
Yeah, it's a Hyperkin Superboy. That's what it is. And it's a great little device. Although if you wiggle it just wrong, the game resets, which is kind of a bummer. The new one locks in place and it's much nicer. But I don't have that. And like I showed you during Josh's review, I have a passcode saved about midway through the game. So that if I can either start at the very beginning, which I often do because that's what you do in Mega Man, or I can just jump right to almost fighting Sigma, or go fight Vile or whatever. Go relive some of my favorite moments. If I have 15 minutes, that's what I want to be doing.
Yeah,
it's true. You can do that if you're good enough.
Well, I'm not. That's the thing, Josh. I'm not going from the very beginning all the way to Sigma in 15 minutes. That's absurd. But like. I can jump into a point where I was already a little bit powered up, maybe go grab a couple of more E-tanks or, just go do the boss rush or whatever it is. I can enjoy the game from whatever point.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
It's one of the most replayable games I've ever encountered, I think.
Yeah. It also does a lot to define... It does a lot to define where Mega Man is going and where X and 0 specifically differ from classic Mega Man.
Yes.
Classic Mega Man, Josh, you can't wall jump.
Which is hell. Sounds like shit.
Yeah, and the dash, you have to press down and jump to dash. Yeah, so it's a slide.
Sounds like shit as well.
Interesting.
And I'll get more into the slide next week when I talk about Mega Man 11. But oh boy.
There's a level in Mega Man 11 that's so hard where
it's
there's
the very
like
first level. The rocks. It's the rocks.
Yeah, the one where they fall down on the conveyor belt and you have to traverse that bullshit. God damn, yeah.
It took me forever to figure that out.
Yeah.
X has never felt that. Like they never do weird sneaky things like that.
Right.
In the
X games have always been pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So that's why I gave it a little bit higher than you guys did, but not significantly. Like I love the fact that we all fell in basically the same score.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I honestly thought Josh's was going to be considerably lower.
I did too. I really did.
That was awesome.
The depth of lore across the entire Mega Man franchise is really what blows my mind.
Yeah,
every single one of those games is connected. And
which is sick.
It's crazy. Like the character design is changed completely between Mega Man, the original, and Battle Network.
Yeah.
Battle Network, he isn't even a robot, he's an AI. and he lives inside the internet.
What?
Yeah. Your player character exists in the real world, and he has a PET, a device, it's basically a cell phone, that allows him to communicate with his net avatar. It's literally just like
so he's just a straight
forum
robot.
And yeah, he's just straight up, he's in the internet, and his job is to bust viruses.
It's also not a platformer. It's an RPG.
Right. It's an RPG.
Oh. I don't know if that counts.
You know, it's fun in its own way, Josh.
Yeah. I mean, the same way you like Mario RPG, you know, and Paper
really
Mario and stuff like that. It's
right.
It's like that, you know.
I guess that's true. That's true.
There is a platformer version, and that's the GameCube one, Mega Man NT. Battle Network NT or Network Transmission. It's Mega Man Network Transmission. And there's also an anime that went with it too that was a thing.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I caught it a couple of times. I'm like, this is really like there's a lot of romantic tension between the main character and one of his classmates, and then Mega Man. So Lan and Mail have this weird relationship in the real world, and then Mega Man and Roll, who I'm used to being Mega Man's sister. Yeah. They are not brother and sister in Mega Man NT Warrior, and they are dating instead. It super throws me off every time.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why would they do that? I don't like that.
I mean, it was just a rewrite of the franchise. They were trying to branch the franchise out into
new characters. Then,
well, they wanted to include the classics because all the characters from classic Mega Man show up, including some of the Robot Masters. Some of the Robot Masters are good guys. Gutsman is a good guy all of a sudden.
So that's another. So that's another thing that I like about some of the Mega Man games, including the Mega Man X series, is your enemies are not necessarily always bad guys. Right. The Zero series especially.
I mean, spoiler alert. Okay.
I haven't played this shit.
Are you gonna play them?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, dude. I highly recommend.
I definitely won't spoil that because that's a huge one.
No, especially not huge ones. Come on.
Yeah, but there's a lot of levels of morality explored in the Mega Man's franchise, especially Zero. Zero's
the one that gets deepest into it.
Yeah, definitely. El Pizo in Mega Man Zero 2, he is a major character right from the very beginning. Is all sorts of levels of gray, and you know that right away.
Harpuya is too.
Harpuya is definitely like he thinks he's fighting for the right cause, and he has like 3 different changes of heart over the course of the franchise. Yeah, Leviathan also. Yeah, Fefner's just kind of a hothead, and he just wants to set the world on fire. But of the 3 Guardians, 4 Guardians, Phantom's an idiot. But Phantom's such a pain in the ass.
Josh, it's like I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, we're just
Paul and I are a little bit off in left field here, but it shows how deep people can connect with this lore. Like it's kind of unbelievable. Josh, what were some of your big questions, etc.? You asked a couple last week off stream, and I was like, wait, I will answer that.
I don't even know now.
Oh, damn. Crap. Because
it's all a mystery.
Do you have any questions about the Mega Man series in general? Whether it be the original games, Mega Man X, the sequels to X, you know.
I don't know. I think it's pretty clear which ones I want to play now, but the originals don't even interest me because of how they're set up as far as gameplay wise. I'm just like, it's like playing Metroid instead of Super Metroid. I'm just like, it doesn't. Really
I think comparing them to Metroid games is
no, it's the same caliber of it's the same caliber of reduction. I feel like where it's just I'm like I don't even want to play Mario Bros when I can play Super Mario World. You know what I mean? Like
kind of. I don't know. Here's the thing.
I feel you there. I really do. I'm always going to grab Super Mario World.
And so maybe if it's that good, maybe I should try it. You know, if it's as good as like a Super Mario Bros. Type game, then maybe it is worth playing.
There's arguments for that. Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
the first one isn't.
Yeah, the first one's just brutal. I mean, you want to.
It is just
across the room.
Squeeze your balls in a vice.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, most of the original Nintendo ones are feel like that to me personally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I personally,
except for Mario Bros, I feel like all the original Nintendo games are like.
Oh, I meant
horrible.
in regards to Mega Man games.
Mega Man
specifically.
Oh, they all like that. It's basically why I don't want to play them. I'm saying, and you're just confirming it.
I mean, well, the franchise is notoriously brutal.
Yeah,
and
notoriously
it's
difficult
because of that mentality back in the day that games weren't being produced anywhere near at the rate that they are now. We expect new releases 3-4 times a year, and that's just based on that's just based on what's interesting to us.
Yeah,
that's a really fast release schedule.
Right. On top of that, you gotta imagine that the cartridges couldn't hold that much information, and so they wanted to make a game that you would spend a lot of time playing, but could fit onto a small cartridge. So how do you do that? You make it very difficult so that you have to replay a lot of it over and over again to master it. And then once you finally do, after you've spent 100 hours playing that game or whatever it is, you'll be able to go back and beat that in an hour or whatever it is. But that was kind of the philosophy for a lot of games. The games that kind of broke that mold would be like Zelda and Metroid and things that had much more exploration and such. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's valuable to look back and maybe try the older Mega Man games, just to kind of get a feel for the history of them. One game that I would recommend if you play, if you want to play a Game Boy game, would be Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy. It's fucking incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's got amazing story. It's got amazing music. The bosses are really fun. It's got a very unique mechanic that no other Mega Man game ever after this has. It's a great game, and it's not really terribly difficult because it's a Game Boy game. It certainly is hard, but not like some of the regular.
Also, if you want a good chunk of the story, Rockman and Forte.
Yes.
We did not get most of that story in the U.S. For quite some time. It eventually did become, Mega Man and Bass was a thing, but Rockman and Forte is super tight, really good story, and you play as both the hero, Mega Man, and the villain. Again, you get that gray area where Bass Forte is kind of a nebulous character. Like he has it, which is occurs to me now. It's a very odd concept, robots with morality.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of gets into, that's another thing I've always loved about the Mega Man games. It kind of gets into that like cyberpunk question, what is a soul? Like what makes a human a human? What makes, can we get to the point where an AI becomes conscious, and does that consciousness have a soul? It's crazy that these games that are made for kids for the Nintendo and things like that are like asking these like really deep questions.
They really are, like really deep.
Yeah, with limited like exposition and stuff. A lot of that's subtext,
Yeah.
So
one of the things that we didn't talk about also is the difference in play style between the protagonist characters. The X franchise handled this a lot better than the classic franchise, or Battle Network for that matter, because Battle Network only had one protagonist character, other than Battle Chip Challenge, and I won't go there. That game sucked.
Potato Chip Challenge.
Yeah, don't ever even consider
it's
that
like
one.
Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land.
Yeah, it's but the oh god, what was I saying?
You're talking about the difference.
Right. The protagonist characters, they all have different weapon styles. So the reason that I like the Mega Man Zero games, or the reason that I was gravitated towards the Mega Man Zero games when they first came out, was that's one of the things that I remember from the later X games is Zero with his sword gets right up close and personal with the enemies.
Yeah.
Axel has a slightly quicker rate of fire but less damage. He's got 2 pistols.
Yeah.
There's
like full auto ones and stuff like that.
Right. So there's a lot of, as the franchise continues, there's more, specifically X, there's more diversity to what you are able to do. So Josh, your big complaint was you can't shoot up. Well, with the sword, you kind of can. You just have to figure out how.
Axel can shoot in multiple directions too.
Yes, I was just gonna say Axel can shoot in multiple directions. He's in 05.
No,
sorry,
his
X5?
first one is no. Axel doesn't appear until X7 and 8.
Oh, he's okay.
7 and 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was an odd number. I wasn't sure if it was 5 or 7. But yeah, so they do introduce some new protagonist characters, some new hero characters. The other thing that I've done some research on lately, there's a ton of fan-made content for these games.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Capcom was at one point investigating the idea of doing a first-person shooter Mega Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would be so into, even if it was just Doom reskinned with Mega Man.
Well, yeah, so that was my original thought, it was going to be Doom-like, but someone had mentioned that it was going to be more like Metroid Prime-like, which
actually does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more interested in something like that, but I don't think it'll ever. I mean, it won't ever happen.
Now, I'm not certain, but I feel like X Dive might have started as a fan-made project. It may not have. I may be wrong there, but that's the feeling I get from that game. But
no, to me, it's just a mobile money grab. Like
it
just plays like a mobile game.
Kind of hate it, but I still play it because it's the closest I'm going to get to a new Mega Man game.
I think the best version of Mega Man X that isn't just like the original version is the one on PSP, Mega Man X Maverick Hunters.
Maverick Hunters, yep.
Or is it Maverick Hunters? I don't know.
It's Maverick Hunter X, but yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it is fucking rad. They revamped the like all the graphics and all that, so it looks real fancy and cool. The controls are a little bit tighter. But what's really cool about it, other than like, the polish that they even added like anime cutscenes and stuff, but you get to play through the entire game as Vile, which is fucking cool. It's really cool to play as Vile. And he's got like such a different motivation, obviously, from X, like, and it's just a really awesome take on that scenario. So totally, like, if you have access to a PSP or however you might be able to play that, it's worth checking out for sure.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And there's a lot of those. I mean, I mentioned Rockman and Forte is like all these little bits of things that get sewn together into this giant tapestry of Mega Man lore.
Yeah,
the connection all the way back to the original game, which was Dr. Light and Dr. Wily created this robot, and it was, I guess, it's there's so much at this point that I forget half of it. I feel like it was like they created Proto Man, and Wily wanted to do something one way, and Light wanted to do something another way, and Wily got angry and left, and then Dr. Light made Mega Man and Roll and Rush, and they did a thing, and they thwarted Wily, and he got away, and the whole thing turned into something with so many characters and so much depth.
Yeah,
it's just hard
good
not to respect the work that Capcom has put in over the years.
Josh, if you're interested in continuing your Mega Man journey, certainly play some of the other X games, because they're I think they're all good.
They're all good. Yeah.
And they all have something to offer. But if you want to see what the next step is, where the evolution of Mega Man went, is the Zero series.
It's Zero.
And those games are fucking awesome. Like, they are really, really fucking awesome.
Those are kind of what I want next.
Yeah.
Yep.
So definitely check those out. Do you have any like final thoughts or questions or anything, Josh, in regards to Mega Man?
I think I could be surprised. I don't know. I'm dead inside. I'm just kidding. I got nothing.
I'm really interested to see where your journey goes here, Josh, because obviously I've not played all of them. I'll be honest with you. There's plenty that I've skipped. A lot of the late level mainline Mega Man games. I played 1 through 7, and then skipped 8, 9, and 10, and then jumped right to 11. So your journey may not encompass all of the entire franchise. I'm interested to see where you go next.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, excited. So
right
far,
on.
so good. I cracked into something good. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, dude. I'm gonna send you some Mega Man X speed runs.
Show me that.
Oh yeah,
it'll blow your
crazy.
mind.
It's like the
It'll
only
blow your
speed runs
damn
I can
mind.
watch.
Yeah,
They're crazy good.
They're
or
awesome.
like the zero damage runs are also really good.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
dude, they're crazy. All right, well that I think wraps it up for the night, guys.
So hungry.
Get some food, man. Thanks everyone for joining tonight. This is Difficult Podcast. If you're watching this live, you are watching it on my Twitch channel. I stream video games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's usually going to be whatever game I'm playing as a series, which most recently was Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I don't have a new game yet. I might do some filler content over the next couple weeks. Maybe, like I said, hop back into Returnal. But my next big game for sure is going to be Metroid Dread. Very excited about that. On Saturdays, I always play a samurai game. It is Samurai Saturday. So you can hang out there. And what's great about Samurai Saturday is a lot of times we end up like talking about like Japanese history and mythology and stuff like that, which I think is
it really becomes a kind of a celebration of something we all have at least a passing interest in.
Yeah, it's fun. If you're watching this on YouTube, please share it for us. We really appreciate that. And then if you want to yell at me on Twitter, Ryugami-sama, right down there, you can hit me up there.
Scream at him.
Shout something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Josh, where can we find you, man?
Lord Yeshua and Lord Yeshua TTV on all my bullshit, and I will maybe be streaming stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I'm so swamped with life. So much. But maybe something on one of my days off. So coming up. So we shall see, my friends. But there you go. Off to Zach.
So I'm on Twitch at Another Letdown. I'll be live Thursday at 6 for Zach Sucks at Games. I'm going to be playing through Space Marine, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. And then I will be live on Friday for our big fundraiser for Embrace Kids Foundation. It's Arkham Horror 2nd Edition on Tabletop Simulator. The gang's going to be all here. We are giving away, this isn't going to work very well with the green screen, but I hand-painted this awesome Starspawn of Cthulhu. So someone who, one lucky donor will get that. Cool. You can help us win or make things harder for us by donating certain increments. I think like $1 will make things, will buy us a clue. $2 will make something a little bit harder. We'll figure out all the details and just tune in then at 6:00 p.m. Eastern time on my channel. And normally we do miniatures painting on Saturday, but I'm going to a concert supposedly. So that I don't think that's going to happen. And then on Twitter, I'm at DENONCZD.
Excellent. All the socials should be in chat. Don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't already. And feel free to ask us questions in the Discord and things like that. If you want to engage with the show, like we're happy to do that. We would love to have answer, community questions, and even like if you have certain topics that you want to hear us talk about, we're happy to check that out too. So anyway, definitely. Thanks again. Everyone have an awesome evening. We will see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.